Welcome back to Beg, Borrow, Steal, the FM22 adventure where we're trying to go from the fourth tier of Spanish football all the way to the top without spending any money on transfers. However, due to our failure to gain promotion out of the fourth division last campaign, we've had to make some cutbacks. We've moved out of our pricey Barcelona apartment, headed to the outskirts of the city where things are a little bit grittier, but there's cause for optimism. Our new digs have got all of the mod cons like running water and some jaunty high ceilings, and there's other things to be optimistic about as well. In today's episode, we've got new kits, we've got new signings, and we've got new hope that this will be the season that we get promotion. So the start of the 2022-23 campaign also means a new look for Europa as we unveil our new kits designed by Liam. From down in the comments section in the video description, we're going to put a link to Liam's Twitter where you can contact him if you'd like him to design custom kits for your own teams in Football Manager. He can do 2D or 3D kits, and we're going to be sporting those in our opening game today. Let's check out who the fixture list has given us. So the media are excited about what the fixture list has given us for the opening day of the season. We've got an away trip to Formentera, a club whose starting striker this afternoon will be a player who was on our books last season, whilst our number 9 for today's game scored against us for Formentera when we played them last season. If we have a look at the season preview, the resculpting of the squad we've done is enough for us to be installed as fourth favourites for the title for this season. We best show you how pre-season has gone and what we're thinking tactically for this campaign. Okay, pre-season has been a mixed bag of results. Admittedly, we had a little bit of a turbulent pre-season, if I'm honest. We were busy trying to rework our squad and get new players in when the dreaded board takeover happened. We lost about 3 weeks to the transfer embargo whilst a new consortium took control of the club. They put no money in. In fact, as soon as they took over, they ended our affiliate link with Espanyol, and they also decided to open up a B team, which led to some stadium redevelopments that cost us £600,000. So the finances are not looking great. We started pre-season okay. We then lost 3 on the bounce before 2 4-0 wins. And we've been going back and forward a little bit as to what we might do for our tactic. Let's show you the 2 systems that we've got. So first of all, we've still got the Annie Lennox 4-3-3 that the viewers voted as the system we should start last campaign with. We've made sure that we've signed plenty of players that are versatile in the transfer window. So we've got players that are more than comfortable playing this system. Hopefully, we've got better strikers this campaign. So if anybody's playing as the lone frontman, they might be able to finish the chances that are coming their way. But we've also got a second tactic that we've been training during pre-season. It's a familiar one for people that have viewed the channel before, but we've been working on a 4-4-2 as well, just in case we do have spells of misfiring strikers once more. I like the idea of having something that would get 2 starting strikers in the team, as well as support coming from out wide. We're thinking with this system of going with wide midfielders rather than wingers, so that I have a little bit more control over the player instructions that they are given. With wide midfielders on attack, the only instruction they get is get further forward, and I've selected some additional ones based on the relative player's strengths that I think might play in those roles. I've also done the same in the central midfield areas, where we're just going with central midfielders, one on defend and one on support, so that I can give them more specific instructions based on the strength of the players that might fill those roles. I'm thinking that for today's game, we're going to go with the 4-4-2 chiefly because our top DM that I signed got injured on the first day of pre-season training, has been out for weeks. He's going to be fit enough to be on the bench today, but has not played more than 15 minutes of pre-season football. So maybe the 4-4-2 might be our better option. Let's show you the players that we've signed. You can judge for yourself whether we're a stronger outfit this campaign. So pre-season was busy to say the least. It was truncated because of that board takeover and transfer embargo. We had to cram an awful lot of business into a short space of time. We've had players retire, players leave at the end of their contract. We sold a couple as well, and we've bought a whole host in. Let's show you how it now affects the squad. For us in goal, we're going to continue with Sergio. He's back for his second season in the number 1 position. He does carry a little bit of a knock at the moment, which is a worry because we've let our senior backup keeper go to free up wages, and we're going to put our trust in a player from last year's youth intake. You're only allowed to register 2 goalkeepers in the 4th tier of Spanish football. So if anything happens to Sergio, we're calling on 16-year-old Gerard Lopez. Let's head into the defence now, where there's more familiar names. Guti is going to continue as our first choice left back. And the cover for him, again, is going to be an academy graduate. We're going to rely on Jordi Chica, who's going to be our backup left back. The coaches don't really rate him, but he's actually the youngster that is doing the best in training. Let's head into central defence. We knew that we had David Jimenez coming in as far back as February last year. He's going to be our left-sided centre-half, 6'2", good in the air, bit of a solid citizen. Pleased to have him on board. He's going to form a back line along with Smitty from last season. Great personality, reasonable pace for a central defender at this level. Looking strong together at the back, hopefully. And then we've got a choice of 2 new right backs. Fruit Pasteas left us at the end of his contract. He wanted £1,500 a week to stay. I think we've upgraded on him without paying that much money. Our starting right back is going to be Javi Soler, who is a 25-year-old, looks pretty well rounded. He's not the best crosser of the ball, but defensively looks pretty solid, and at 6'1" should help us out at defensive set pieces. The backup going to be a player that's actually going to play in midfield for us today. Niall Mason is a former Peterborough player who's not training that well, but again is pretty well rounded, gives us cover in all areas of the pitch, including being able to play at centre half. However, I like the idea more of him dropping in at right back and maybe Javi Soler going in and playing as a pretty quick option for us at centre half with his 6'1" of height. Let's move on to the midfield next, where we've got some familiar names out on the wings. We're going to be continuing with Jordi Cheno, but rather than playing him as a right-sided player, cutting in on his left foot, my thoughts for him for the start of this season are for him to play as a conventional wide player, trying to hit the byline and get some crosses into the box. Over on the right-hand side, though, we're going to have Zoolander, who I have set some instructions for him to play over as a right-sided midfielder, but always cutting in, playing some risky passes, trying to be creative, trying to be almost like a playmaker out there to craft some chances for our 2 strikers. In the centre of midfield, we've already seen Mason, the player who was meant to be starting at the base of our midfield when we were playing the 4-3-3 in pre-season, was Nana, who I've signed because of the stamina and the strength and aerial presence in midfield. Pretty good determination, work rate and teamwork means that he meets our DNA pretty well. Technically he's as good as he's ever going to get, and it's not great. But as a stopper in the base of midfield, I thought he was going to be pretty good. We know that Hamza El Hachi is signed permanently. He was on loan last season. He started most of our games last season, but I see him more as a backup this season, and he's happy to play as a fringe player. And in the 4th tier, people happy to be a fringe player are worth their weight in gold. It means that our primary creator in central midfield will be Marco Valero. Again, the training hours are going in the wrong direction, but at 24 years old, decent passing and vision, the teamwork and the work rate and the determination suit our DNA. Only 5'8", the physicals are not outstanding. But I think as a little crafter in the central midfield areas, and as a player who might get up and take some long shots from the edge of the box, I think Valero's looking pretty good. Struggling for fitness a little bit. Might not play the whole game today. We do have another midfield option who is also injured, for the next few weeks. This is Gero, who's going to be out for at least a month, possibly two, and he's going to be a right-footed option for us over on the right wing. Crossing, dribbling, passing, vision, flair, little bit of pace and agility, all looking reasonably good. The off-the-ball movement is decent as well. Perhaps a little bit older than your ideal signing at this level, but that completes our midfield options. But we've also done some work shaping the strikers as well, because we've got three new ones that have joined the club. Brace yourselves. We have let Javi Solsona go when his contract expired. His return last season was meagre, and we had Diego Vargas lined up to come in and replace him. He's a quick option. He's a good finisher. He's composed. He's got great off-the-ball movement. And last season, he played for today's opponents, Formentera, scored a goal every other game and contributed 10 assists. And on top of that, when we switch to a 4-3-3, he can fill in either of the wide berths. If we need to rest or rotate him out, we've brought a player in on loan who's costing us nothing, and he's even quicker and a better finisher, and the off the ball and the composure are not too bad either. So this player could well be getting some appearances off the bench this season. But when we're playing a 4-4-2, we wanted something a little bit different, a foil for Vargas up front. So we've also brought in Yaya Sanogo, formerly of Arsenal, more recently played for Huddersfield in the Championship and Toulouse in Ligue 1. He's 6'4", he's got a great jumping reach. In terms of our DNA, he's got great teamwork and great work rate. Granted, the finishing is not brilliant, but he's going to be a good hold-up player, plays with his back to goal, should link with the midfield, and hopefully set up some chances as well as being a threat from set pieces. But we've got a rotation option as well. We want to take the target forward out. We could also play Borja Domingo as a pressing forward. It's arguably as good an option as playing either Vargas or Sanogo. 6'2", decent in the air, reasonable all-round physicals, will work hard for the team, decent finisher, decent composure. I think Domingo is going to be getting plenty of games, and imagine having Domingo on the same pitch when we bring on young Iglesias. We signed both of them for less than a tenner, and Domingo and Iglesias could be playing some games together this season. So that's how the squad is shaping up. Let us know down in the comments what's the best bit of business you think we've done, and who's the most overhyped player you think we've brought in that might not turn out to be that useful to us. But we've got a whole host of new players making their debuts today. We're going to get out there against Formentera and see how we start the season. Okay, the teams are coming out ready for the start of the new season. Honestly, I think we've signed some good players, but I'm not overly confident for the opening day of the season. We've got a lot of new players still settling in. We've got some who've been struggling for fitness a little bit during pre-season. We've got a goalkeeper with a knock. We don't have all that much on the bench for today's game whilst we've got these injuries. I know it sounds like I'm making a lot of excuses, but I think today could be a tough one. We'll just have to see how the boys get on. We've got the ball with Sergio right now. We're only 3 minutes into the game, and we've got it wide to Sola. We've got a lot of new players starting the season that have never played for the club. It begs to be seen how they're going to do. Vargas gets in on one early. We're all the way back to Sergio. Playing down the right again. Look for Zoolander, by the way, on the right. We're asking him to try and be a creative outlet for us there. He's going to go to the byline on this occasion, but during pre-season, he was playing some beautiful through balls to the front players. He also checks back nicely onto that left foot, and he plays some lovely balls into the box. When we see Sanogo in the second half, we might see those two linking up. We've gone corners again, and Zoolander has sent one in, and David Jimenez has got his first goal for the club. We've taken the lead. I wasn't confident that this first half was going to play out very well, but we've been pretty dominant so far. And we've scored from a set piece, something we weren't doing enough of last campaign. Here's one of those in Domingo. Might rotate him today with Sanogo, so they play a half each. And now Jordi's got the ball in the box. He's gone to the byline. He's going to have to wriggle back. He's dug one out. Valero has got us our second-headed goal of the afternoon. This little chap's only 5'8". We've put him in as a central midfielder with a support duty on, but don't be fooled. We've put get further forward in as one of his player instructions, as well as allowing him to take a few long shots as well, because he's not bad at those. And he has got his first goal for the club, put us 2-0 up, and we've still got 10 minutes to go to half-time. We're looking to see whether we can take this 2-0 lead into half-time. They're coming forward. Need to try and rob the ball off them and break. Not looking likely so far. We've got a couple of players that are still struggling a little bit with their fitness that we might need to assess at half-time. One of them being the scorer of our second goal, Valero. Now, that's a decent first half. We've restricted them to just one shot, and we've got 2 goals. Let's go in. Tell the boys they're doing well. See if we need to make some changes for the second period. So the second half is underway. We have made a little substitution. Valero was really struggling. He's been carrying a knock. So we have brought on El Hachi, who's now joined the club permanently. He's going to play as our central midfielder for the second half. I reckon around the hour mark, we might just unleash Sonogo as well. He was carrying a knock when he first joined the club and missed a little bit of pre-season. But I'm eager to see what a 6'4" target forward could bring to our side, because we've got fullbacks that like to get a ball in like that. And I think if Sonogo is on the end of those, he might be able to get some knockdowns. Maybe even get some chances on goal himself. We've thrown in another ball into the box, and it's Domingo hitting the right notes. And just 1 minute into the second half, Placido's boys has scored for us again. We've sent the ball out wide. Was it Chano with the cross, or was it Guti? It was Chano. That's a great header. He's on the penalty spot. He's thumped a header home. And he's probably the player that would make way if we bring Sonogo on. And he's battling for his place in the team. He's got 2 goals for us now, and it's looking pretty good. Jordi Chano, by the way. Jordi Chano has now whipped in 2 assists. Okay, we've gone with just the one change. We're thinking maybe we might try and give Nana 15 or 20 minutes to build up his fitness towards the end of the game. We've brought on Sonogo. He's on as the target forward, and we've actually kept Domingo on the pitch and allowed Domingo to go up front and be the advance forward. And we've taken Vargas off. Vargas had a good game, but no debut goal for him. We're now on 22 shots, 12 on target, 3-0 up, and haven't got an XG of a 1 yet. So maybe we still need to have a little think about the quality of chances that we're creating. I feel like we've controlled the game pretty well. We've got Jordi now trying to hit the byline. Now he's got a big target in the box. And there it goes, and there is Sonogo. And his first effort in front of the cameras goes narrowly over the bar. It might just be a case of seeing out a 3-0 win now. If it is, well, I still think that's a pretty good return for the opening day of the season. The XG concerns me. Maybe down in the comments section you can advise me as to how we might try and improve the quality of our chances. But if we're going to have a poor XG and win 3-0, I won't turn my nose at it all that often. This could be a proper highlight as well, because we've still got 90 seconds left. We're back with the keeper. A 4th goal. Is that greedy? Or would that put the gloss on a great performance? We've got Lander. He's going down the wide areas. He's pulled it back to Nana's there, and then he's done one of those left foot crosses. They're dangerous. When he checks back on that left foot, he curls them in. Hope Sonogo might have been sniffing around, but I think it was Jordi coming in. And now we've got a throw in. We've hit a deep cross in. Their keeper has spilt it. And I think that could well be the last highlight of the game. Sol has done a tactical foul. And I think that could be what nurses us through to the full-time whistle. 3-0 on the opening day of the season in a game I wasn't really that confident in. I think that's a decent performance. Let us know down in the comment section. We're asking a lot of you this video. Best signings, troublesome signings, and how we might try and improve that XG a little bit. For my money, 29 shots and an XG of 1.24. doesn't seem that good considering how well people seem to have played. But let's concentrate on the results. It's a promising start of the season. We know we started last campaign well and then fell away. We want to try and avoid that this season. The squad is not deep, but I think it's stronger than it was last campaign. We'll see you for our next episode where we'll have 10 games under our belts and we'll see whether we might be contenders this season or not.